Hello students, let us start today's session. In today's session, we are going to study a new section, section D. Now, this section D in your new course is International Financial Management. The short form of that we call it as Forex. In this whole section D, we are going to deal with currencies like dollar, euro, pound, yen. We are going to understand the mechanism of the currencies, international, when we do international business, when we deal with America, when we deal with Japan, when we deal with other countries, their currencies are also involved. So in this section D, we are going to manage the international finance part. Okay. Now section D has 3 modules. So in section D, you have to study 3 modules, module 14, 15 and 16. Module 15 and 16 covers your practical portion and module 14 covers your theory portion. First, we are going to study module 15 and 16 and finish all the practical part of the Forex chapter. And then we are going to move on to the module 14, the theory portion. Theory is very simple. It deals with basically sources of foreign currency. So first, let us start studying module 15 and 16. Now, module 15 and 16, how are we going to study? Basically, this whole Forex, whole section D is very comprehensive section. It is a very, very important section, section D, Forex chapter, and it covers lots of concepts in module 15 and 16. So we cannot directly start doing questions of CMA module. We have to first understand all the concepts. So first we will be covering all the concepts of module 15 and 16 with the help of conceptual problems. There are many conceptual problems in our book of our coaching, and so first we are going to finish all the concepts. Once we are thoroughly done with the concepts, then we are going to take up the new course 2022 CMA module questions, and we will be doing all the questions of your module, questions solved in your module. So we are going to start with the conceptual problems first, finish conceptual problems and then move on to the module questions. Secondly, module 15 and 16 I am going to teach together. Basically, module 15 covers your basic part of your Forex currencies. You need to understand various nomenclature, various terminologies related to currencies. And then in the module 16, you are going to do hedging, risk management. So let us explore what concepts are covered in module 15 and 16. So let us begin our module 15 and 16, and we are going to call module 15 as Forex chapter. Okay, so let us start.
So basically in Forex, we have to cover 3 things. First is Forex, or I should say exchange rate arithmetic. Basically, you have to learn certain basic rules regarding exchange rate. What is exchange rate, how exchange rate is expressed, and certain basic attributes related to exchange rate. How is currency purchased and sold in the market? Basic rules. So this is going to take up 2 lectures approximately. Then there is, you understand what is exchange rate? The rate at which currency is purchased and sold in the market, that is called exchange rate. Exchange rate, for example, exchange rate, let us say rupees 50 per dollar. That is, if $1 is to be purchased or sold, the price is 50 rupees. This is called exchange rate. Okay, so exchange rate, we have to learn certain rules regarding exchange rate, many rules regarding exchange rate, what exchange rate means, how it is expressed, who is quoting this exchange rate. Okay, so all these rules we have to study. Currencies, various currencies of different countries, that is we are going to start learning in this lecture. Then second thing we have to learn is this exchange rate permanent or it keeps on changing? It keeps on fluctuating. Will $1 will cost 50 rupees forever, or the $1 rate keeps on changing? $1 rate keeps on changing. This is the rate. So why exchange rate keeps on fluctuating? That is the second part. Exchange rate fluctuations. Is there any reason why exchange rate fluctuates? Answer is yes. Is there any reason? Answer is yes. Who has explained the reason? There are three theorems. Which explains the fundamentals behind the rate fluctuations, and those three theorems are IRPT theorem, PPT theorem, and International Fisher's theorem. This will again take 2 to 3 lectures, most probably 2 lectures. Fisher's theorem, very easy theorem. These are the three ideology which explains or gives reasoning that why these exchange rates keeps on fluctuating, why $1 doesn't cost 50 rupees forever. Okay. Then the third part, which the chapter itself is risk management. There is some risk involved in this chapter. That risk is managed in this chapter. We make you understand various techniques. We tell you to enter into various types of contracts which help you in managing risk. What is risk in this chapter? What risk implies in this chapter? How is risk eliminated or reduced? We are going to learn this part. This is going to be little bit complicated, not much. Okay, but not much complicated. So this is all about forex. MCQs can come from any of this part, or this is a very good chapter for MCQs. Okay, so let us start first the basic rules regarding exchange rate. For next 2 lectures I am just going to talk about exchange rate. Okay, no, then afterwards IRPT, PPT, International Fisher's theorem, and then I will go on to risk management techniques and tools. So let us start with this. Exchange rate. Exchange rate is the rate through which, that is the rate which is quoted by bank or authorized agent. Can you buy a currency? Can you buy or sell a currency with anybody? Can you come to me and buy from me a currency or sell your currency to me? Answer is no. You cannot buy or sell the currency to anybody. Only through bank or their authorized agents. Only through bank or authorized agents only you can buy or sell currencies. So buying or selling can be done. Buying or selling of currency can be done through bank or authorized agent. And there is a proper act also, FEMA Act, which is applicable for the deal in the currencies, that the law teacher will teach you. So buying and selling of currency can take place through bank or authorized dealers, authorized dealers or authorized agents. Suppose I want a currency. I am an Indian person. Listen the lecture very carefully. I am an Indian person and I have rupees in my pocket. I want to go on a trip to US. So definitely I will be needing dollars. So I go to a bank. Because I know if I need dollars, I cannot go to some market and buy dollars. I have to go to my bank and approach bank and buy currency. So I approach a bank and I ask, please, or the authorized agents, okay, which are travelers. Agents are also authorized agents. So if they get the authorization. Coming back to topic, I am an Indian person, okay, and my currency is rupees. My currency is, that means my home currency is rupees. So I have rupees in my pocket. I approach bank and I ask bank that can you please sell me some dollars? You sell me some dollars. I want to buy dollars. Bank is going to sell dollars and Indian person is going to buy dollars. So I ask bank, give me a quotation. Give me a quotation. That is, give me a rate to buy dollars, because I want to buy dollars. Bank will sell. Forget about bank. Listen to me. I want to buy dollars. So bank is giving me a rate. That rate is called exchange rate. Why is it called exchange rate? I will tell you. Bank said 70 rupees per dollar. Now, in this, bank is saying me exchange rate is rupees 70 per dollar. Just look at this slash sign. This is per sign. When you go to some market and you say, I want to buy potatoes. So the seller says rupees 50 per kg of potato. Like this the seller says. Rupees 50 per kg of potato. Now after the slash sign, whatever is mentioned is your commodity. And before the slash sign is the price. Similarly, in this quotation, the currency which is appearing after slash sign is the commodity currency. This currency which is appearing after the slash sign is called commodity, and for this commodity this is the price. So can you see the interesting part? The commodity is also a currency and the price paid for the commodity is also a currency. So what you are buying or what you are going to buy is a currency, and to buy currency you are going to pay the price through a currency only. Okay, not a problem. Both currencies are different currencies. So you are buying dollars and you are paying the price in rupees because you have rupees in your pocket. Okay. So bank is saying $1 will cost you rupees 70, or we can say rupees 70. Through 70 rupees you can buy $1. Sorry. Through $1, just a second please. $1 is equal to rupees 70. That is the exchange rate the company gave you, the bank gave you. Bank gave you how much? Rupees 70 per dollar. This is the exchange rate bank gave you. Right? So through this exchange rate we can imply, this is implied, that $1 is equal to 70 rupees. Now what you have to memorize is that in this rupees 50, the currency which is appearing before slash sign is the price, and the currency which is appearing after slash sign is the commodity. And one more thing you have to notice here is that, let's use pink. Okay. One more thing you have to notice here is that the commodity is expressed in 1 unit. The commodity is expressed in 1 unit. Can you see after slash sign whatever is appearing is in 1 unit? You can see here also after slash sign implies per. Now after slash sign whatever the commodity is per kg of potato. So here also bank will never say $2 will cost you 140. No, he will give you the rate of $1. Now you calculate yourself that you want to buy $10, $20. He will give you rate of 1 unit of the currency only. So always remember this rule. Now I am starting with the rules. Rule number 1. What the rule? That the exchange rate, in the exchange rate, the commodity is generally expressed in 1 unit by bank. Okay. So you have understood this? This is the rule 1, that the currency appearing after the slash sign is the commodity. The price paid for it is appearing before the slash sign. This is how an exchange rate is expressed. Now coming to the second point. Now coming to the second point. $1 in my example, $1 is costing you, okay, $1 is costing you rupees 70. Now can I write like this, or should I say like this? Wait. Rupees 70 per dollar was the exchange rate. Now rule number 2. This is a one-way quote. Exchange rate, rule number 2, please listen to it carefully. Exchange rate can be quoted in two ways. Can be quoted in two ways. Either it can be one-way quote or it can be a two-way quote. One-way quote is what? Rupees 70 per dollar. That is bank, this is the commodity, this is the commodity. Now bank one-way quote implies that $1 bank is ready to buy or sell $1 for how much rupees? 70. Bank is ready to buy or sell $1 for 70 rupees. Ma'am, obviously it is written like this only, $1 is equal to 70 rupees. So bank is going to buy $1 for 70 rupees. No, not only buy, bank is willing to sell also $1 for 70 rupees. The Indian company had an intention to buy, Indian person had an intention to buy. Here, see, listen here. The Indian person has an intention to buy $1. So he goes to the bank. Bank is giving this rate, rupees 70 per dollar. Now in this rate, $1 bank is willing to buy as well as sell for 70 rupees. So bank is giving you a rate in which bank is willing to buy also dollars and sell also dollars. That means bank is giving you the rate to buy and sell both. And this rate is from the angle of bank. Do not get confused, please. This rate is from the angle of bank. Okay. Now you will understand better when I will explain you two-way quotes. See, now two-way quotes. Two-way quote is what? Suppose I am writing like 70, 80 per dollar. Now this is a two-way quote. This is the buying rate and this is the selling rate. This is the rate of buying, this is the rate of selling. Question number 1. What are we buying or selling? Who is buying and selling and what is being bought and sold? The commodity is being bought and sold. So commodity buying selling rate it is. That is the dollar buying rate and selling rate it is given. Okay, this is the price. What is the price in this case? Rupees. Now who is giving you this rate? This rate is given by this. Who is giving you the rate? Who is giving the rate? The rate is given by bank. The rate is given by bank. So that means bank is saying this rate is from the angle of bank. So bank is saying that I will buy $1 for 70 rupees. I will sell $1 for 80 rupees. So these quotations are given by banks. So they are meant according to bank. Okay, simple? No, it is not that simple. It is not that simple. And my dear friends, so many students get confused regarding buying rate and selling rate. So please listen to me carefully. Rule number 1, this rate is given by bank. Bank is saying I will buy $1 for 70 rupees. I will sell $1 for 80 rupees. Okay. Now there is some person, let us say, this is Mr. XYZ. Let us not name XYZ. Let's say I am Vasudha. Okay. I am Miss Vasudha. I want to buy dollar. So I go to bank and bank is offering me a two-way quote. Is giving me a two-way quote. Because bank is saying I will buy rupees for this. I will buy dollar for this rate and I will sell dollar for this rate. Okay. Now please tell me what is my intention. My intention is to buy dollars. So I go to bank and I say to the counter that I want to buy dollars. Please give me a rate. The person sitting there gives me this rate. Now I have to choose which rate is applicable for me. This rate or this rate. Now this is the rate at which bank buys dollar. Is bank going to buy dollar? No. I want to buy dollar from bank. That means I am going to buy dollar from bank. Mrs. Vasudha wants to buy dollar. Hence, bank will sell dollar. Hence, bank will sell dollar, right? If I want to buy dollar, bank will sell dollar, then only I can buy dollar from bank. So I want to buy, don't think what you want to do, think what banks want to do. In your case, bank is going to sell dollars. Now going back to my example, here, if you want to buy dollars, that is me, I want to buy dollars, bank will sell, and bank sells dollar at what rate? 80 rupees rate. That is your and bank's dealing will happen at 80 rupees per dollar rate. So this rate, now the conclusion time, this rate is not meant from your angle. This is the rate which is meant from bank's angle. Bank is saying that, okay dear, I will buy dollar at this rate, I will sell dollar at this rate. This is buying rate, this is selling rate. Buying rate is called as bid rate. This is bid rate. And this is ask rate. Selling rate is called ask rate. So this is bid rate and this is ask rate, but it is not for you, it is from the angle of bank. You want to buy currency? Okay. You want to buy the commodity? Okay. Bank is going to sell in that case, and bank sells at this rate. You want to sell the commodity? Okay. If you want to sell the commodity, bank will buy it from you. Bank will buy at this rate. So these are the rates from the angle of bank. So what you have to conclude from this? I will make you write all the notes properly. Do not worry. Okay. First understand. So what is the conclusion now? The conclusion is that quotations, exchange rates are quoted in two ways. That is one-way quote. One-way quote implies that the buying and selling rate of the bank is one only. And there is a two-way quote. In the two-way quote, the buying and selling rates are different. Bank can buy at some other rate and bank can sell at some other rate. And if I write like this, that is buying and selling rate of dollar by bank is same. And here this rate is called bid rate and this rate is called ask rate. Bid rate implies buying rate and ask rate is called selling rate. Okay. Now this is the two-way quote and this is a one-way quote. Quotations are given by bank. Now coming back to very basics again. Okay. Now I want you to understand the currency rule, that is there is home currency and then there is a foreign currency. Next, another simple concept. Currency. Home currency and foreign currency. Please understand. This is the concept now. Now, what is an home currency? Suppose there is an Indian company. Okay. So, for Indian company, the financial statements, that is your profit and loss account, your balance sheet, all these financial statements for an Indian company will be presented in rupees because it's an Indian company. If it is an American company, then financial statements will be prepared as per dollars. It will be denominated in dollars, the financial statements. So for Indian company, the financial statements are prepared in rupees. Whatever currency the financial statements are prepared, that is called home currency. So for Indian company, the home currency is rupees. For American company, the home currency is dollars. So fair enough, your financial statements is reported, the Indian company's financial statements are reported in rupees. So their home currency is rupees. And suppose, let us say Japan, there is a Japanese company. So Japanese company's financial statements, Japanese company's currency is yen. Yen. I will tell you all the currencies also. This is yen. So their financial statements are reported in yen. So their home currency is yen. So what is foreign currency? Very simple. All other currencies except home currency is the foreign currency for you. Meaning for Indian company, home currency is rupees. Any other currency is foreign currency for Indian company except rupees. For American company, home currency is dollar. Except dollar, all other currencies in the world are foreign currency for the American company. For Japanese company, yen is the home currency. Fair enough. Yen is the home currency. Now for any other currency will be there for them foreign currency. So can I say like this? For Japanese company, the dollar currency is a foreign currency. Rupees is for them is a foreign currency. So their home currency is the currency in which their financial statements are reported. Okay, we have understood home currency and foreign currency concept also. We'll write the notes also, don't worry. Proper notes will be written. Now coming to the next concept. This is very important concept, that is your direct quote exchange rate quotations. Exchange rate quote can be a direct quote and indirect quote. So exchange rate quote can be a direct quote and indirect quote. In this, home currency and foreign currency will play a role. Okay? So let's understand. We will be using one-way quote to make you understand. One-way quote we will be using for time being. Initially we will be using one-way quote, then for the remaining all the lectures two-way quote will be used, because in two-way quote we get bit confused because there is a buying rate and there is a selling rate, and that too from the angle of bank, not from our angle. Okay. So coming back to our concept, what is a direct quote? Suppose, let's say you are a Japanese company. Okay. So for Japanese company, home currency is what? For a Japanese company, home currency is which currency? Yen. Why yen? Because their financial statements are reported in yen. Okay. So for Japanese company, if a Japanese company wants to approaches a bank, do you think Japanese company would be interested in buying yen? Japanese company will not be interested in buying yen because they already have yen. If they need, they would be needing a foreign currency. So if they approach a bank, they will always ask the rate for foreign currencies. They will never ask the rate for yen. Sir, Japanese company will never go to bank and say, sir, can you tell me one yen rate? Why would they want 1 yen rate? They already have yen. They do not want to buy yen. They will be buying foreign currencies. So whenever Japanese company approaches a bank, bank will quote a rate like this. Suppose, for example, I'm just writing it. Practically, it might not be existing, but I'm just writing the rate. Yen, let's say 50 per rupees, which is not right. I mean, in the sense, what I'm trying to say is this rate might not be practically applicable. Maybe the rate is something different. I'm just using it. Okay, it can be, it might be 1.23 or whatever. So yen 50 per rupees. There is something called strength of the currency also. We'll explain that also. I'm using this rate 50 yen per rupee. Now this is the rate in which this is the commodity and this is the price. Right? So 1 rupee is costing 50 yen. Now this is the direct quote in Japan. Why? Because in Japan you will never be interested in buying yen, you will be interested in buying foreign currency. Your own currency will play the role of price, So if any quotation is given to you, then the currency, please listen to the rule, the currency which is playing the role of price, this quotation let me rephrase it. The currency which is playing the role of price, this currency's country is Japan. So for Japan, this is a direct quote. So in Japan, this is a direct quote for rupees. So we will be writing like this: yen 50 per rupee is a direct quote in Japan for rupee. For rupee, this is a direct quote in Japan. Now you have to see the word. For implies commodity. For word is used in English for commodity in our forex chapter. So coming back to a concept, now if I ask you what is a direct quote, you will say, ma'am, if any exchange rate is given to us, in that exchange rate, the currency which is playing the role of price, for that country, this quotation is direct. Then what is indirect? Once we understand indirect, it will be much more clearer what is direct and what is indirect. Okay, these are just basics, so that when we do big questions, we don't get confused. Okay, so going now, what is indirect quote? Understanding this to understand better what is direct, indirect. Let me explain you. Suppose I wrote 50 yen per rupee and I said this is a direct quote in Japan because this is price and the country of this currency, in that country this is a direct quote in Japan for implies commodity for rupees. Okay, good. If I write like this, yen 40, let us say, per dollar, like this, then this is again a direct quote in Japan for dollar. Why direct quote? Because in Japan you are not thinking of buying yen, you are asking for a rate of foreign currencies. So in Japan, this is how a bank will give you the quote. So in Japan, this is a direct quote. Now what is an indirect quote? So coming here, let me write like this: 50 yen is equal to 1 rupee. Using unitary method, in school we used to use 50 yen is equal to 1 rupee. So 1 yen is equal to, if 50 yen cost you 1 rupee, then 1 yen would be equal to how much? 1 upon 50. If I use calculator, I can compute this. It is coming out to be 1 divided by 50. 0.02 rupees. 1 yen. Now please let us write this in a quotation. Let's write this rate. This is a rate. 1 yen will cost this much. 1 yen is costing this much. Let us write. Now 1 yen has become, commodity because it is expressed in 1 unit. This has become commodity. So let us write how I have told you. How can you write this in an exchange rate? Exchange rate now. Price is written before first, rupees 0.02 per yen, because commodity has to be expressed in 1 unit until unless mention something else. So now this is going to playing the role of price. Now my dear friends, this is in Japan. If I ask in Japan, this is not a direct quote. This becomes an indirect quote because in Japan, the home currency is yen, and yen is not playing the role of price, it is playing the role of commodity now. Now in Japan, you are asking to buy yen, so it is not the right way of quoting, so it will be termed as indirect quote in Japan for yen. But this quote will be a direct quote. In which country? In which country this will be a direct quote? It will be a direct quote in which country? The currency which is playing the role of price, rupees. Rupees is a currency of which country? India. In India, this quotation is direct quote. In India, this is a direct quote for yen. For implies commodity. I hope there is no confusion. But this is a direct quote in which country? India. Ma'am, we are getting confused. Don't get confused. Just listen and forget, because this is not going to come in, it is not going to be much of relevance in future questions, but still you should know everything, because in MCQs anything can be asked. Is it a direct quote for this nation, of which nation? So you need to understand what simple rule. The when I ask you which is a for which country it is a direct quote, you just say, you just look up with the currency which is the playing the role of price for that country, this is a direct quote. And for other currency it becomes indirect quote. Now in this case for Japan this becomes indirect quote. Obviously there are two countries involved, one is Japan, one is India. So for one country this is going to be direct quote, for other country it is going to be indirect quote. So hence if the currency which is playing the role of price for that country, it is a direct quote, and the currency which is playing the role of commodity for that country, this quotation is indirect. Okay, and you know what is home currency and what is foreign currency also. So now I hope I have made myself clear. Let's do one question to understand what is direct quote and what is indirect quote. But before starting that, I want to make you clear one more thing. Now I want you to understand one more concept, that is, when you are expressing exchange rate, when you are expressing an exchange rate, okay, when you are expressing an exchange rate, yes, when you are expressing an exchange rate, let's say rupees 70 per dollar, this can be written, this is one way of writing it, which is correct. Another way of writing is like this, rupees per dollar 70. This also means the same thing. The currency which is coming after slash sign will be a commodity, and this is going to be the price. So you have to always take like this, rupees 70 per dollar. This is also the correct way of writing. So don't get confused that 70 is written after dollars, so it is $70. No, rupees per dollar is again implies what? Rupees 70 per dollar. And one more way is also there, rupees per dollar. This is the numerator denominator format. So again it implies rupees per dollar. Same format. Okay, but normally we use this format. This is more frequently used format. So this is one way quote. There can be a two-way quote also. Two-way quote also. Two-way quote. In two-way quote there is a buying rate and there is a selling rate. There are two different rates. Not a problem. You can write like this also, rupees 70, 75 per dollar, or rupees per dollar, and then you write the prices. This implies the same thing, that is rupees 70, 75 per dollar. This is buying rate, selling rate of dollar. Dollar again plays the role of commodity. So I hope this is clear in your mind. Clear? So this is the way of expressing the exchange rate. Before doing one question, first let us discuss the various currencies of different nations, so that we are more comfortable with the currencies. What are the currencies? And there is something called symbol, and one thing is called symbol and code. Okay. How do we express currency? There are two ways of expressing a currency. One is through a symbol and one is through a proper code. Now if you talk about India, India's currency is rupees and its code is INR. This code is given by ISO code. It is ISO code. It is International Standard Codes given for Indian currency INR. Now which is more appropriate to use? Codes are more appropriate. Correct? I am not saying more appropriate to use. Why? Because this symbol is more confusing. Ma'am, what confusion it has? Rupees is a currency for Nepal also. Now when you see the symbol, you cannot identify whether it belongs to it is a Indian rupees or it is a Nepali rupees. So symbols sometimes can be confusing. For example, if I write dollar, can you please tell me it is Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Hong Kong dollar, American dollar? Symbols can be confusing, but if it is a American dollar, its code will be USD. If it's in Canadian dollar, its code will be CAD. If it's an Australian dollar, its code will be CAD. So the ISO code is unique for a currency, but symbols can confuse you. For example, if I write for Japan, then Japan currency is yen. And for China also, the currency is denoted with this symbol, but it is Chinese yuan. Chinese yuan, CNY. So code can identify which currency you are talking about, but symbols can confuse you which currency or which country you are talking about. So more often you should use the code. But in questions, since questions have been framed back 10-20 years, so they have been using symbols, but now more often more fresh questions which are being framed, they are using codes. Now I don't want to make you confused, but I want to tell you something which will make you a little confused. You listen to what I have to say, then forget also. I have taught you this rupees 70 per dollar. This is how you express. In this I have told you this is the commodity. I have told you if you write like this rupees per dollar 70, then this is the commodity. But dear students, this is a wrong implication. No, not wrong implication. This implication will change its meaning. Change its meaning if I use codes. If I use code and I write INR USD 70. If I write INR USD 70, then the first currency before the slash becomes the commodity. Ma'am, what are you saying? Don't get irritated. I am just saying that the currency which is before the slash sign, when you are using the codes, becomes a commodity in the real market, in the international market. This is the rule. If you write on the internet also INR USD, then the first currency becomes the commodity. It will give you 1 INR is equal to this much USD. It will quote you this. 1 INR is equal to this much of dollars. But in our institute, CMA institute, do not follow all this. Thank God. You don't have to get confused. Even if they are using the codes, or they are using partially the codes, one currency is expressed in code, other currency is expressed in dollars, it will still hold this meaning only. In our CMA institute, all the questions follow this rule. Yes. In the practical life, this is the rule. When you use the codes, when you use both the currencies in the codes, then the first currency plays the role of commodity. But in our explanations, in our books, theoretical questions, practical questions, in our books, this is the rule, because from the school age we are learning anything which comes after the slash sign, per sign, is the commodity. It is expressed in 1 unit. Hence, now don't get confused. What you have to remember for exams is you have to remember that whether it is like this or like this or like this, it holds the same meaning. This is going to be the commodity which is expressed after the slash sign. This is 1 unit. $1 is equal to so many rupees. 1 unit. So this is 1 unit, so many rupees. 1 unit, so many rupees, and $1, so many rupees. $1, so many rupees. Any currency coming after the slash sign is going to be your commodity, and this currency coming before slash sign is going to be your price. Is it clear? Even if it is not getting clear, when we will start doing the questions, it will be clear. Okay, before starting the question, let us discuss about currencies of different countries, currencies of different nations. Okay, let's start doing that. Let's write that. Okay, so this you have to write. So if you want to start writing something, you start writing from here. The first thing which you have to write. Let's use a fresh page. Okay, let's write most traded currencies of the world. You can start writing. I'm telling you the name of the currencies. United States dollar. First I'm writing the code and then I'm writing the symbol. So code is USD and the symbol, as you know very clearly, dollar. Then there is euro, which is in the Europe, and its code is EUR and the sign is euro. Okay, this is a euro. Then there is your pound. In UK it is used pound. It is called pound. It is called sterlings. It is shown by a code GBP, Great Britain pound, and the sign used for it is like this. Clear? It is called pound and it is called sterling also. It is called GBP, Great Britain pound. Then there is Australian dollars, AUD, Australian dollars. Then there is Swiss francs, CHF, this is the currency. Then there is Canadian dollar, CAD, dollar sign. Then there is Chinese yuan, CNY. The symbol I told you, it's like for Japan only. Then there is Japanese currency yen. Then ninth currency, New Zealand dollar, again it is a dollar. NSD. So these are the few currencies. I'm writing more. Please write it down. Let me enlarge the page for you. No need as such. Write down. These are the few currencies. You should remember United States currencies, that is dollar, pound and euro. These are the most tradable currencies. Which tradable currencies are there? Three currencies, this and this and this currency is the most tradable currency. Pound, euro and dollars, that is American dollars or USD. Okay, write more currencies please. More currencies please. Then there is Swedish krona, SEK, this is the symbol, KR. Then there is Russian ruble, RUB, symbol I don't know, I have to check. Hong Kong dollar, HKD dollar. These are the codes and this is the symbol. Then Singapore dollar, SGD. Okay, and when as we go on studying, few more currencies will be discovered in the questions. So you don't have to memorize all the currencies, but few currencies you do have to memorize. Like for example, in the previous page we have studied dollars and then euro and then pound. This is very important. Then Japanese yen, Chinese yuan. This is very important. Canadian dollars, Hong Kong dollars. This is all very important. So now the currencies you know. Let us do one question. And the question is based on your direct quote and indirect quote. Now what we have studied under direct quote and indirect quote, let's see. One-way quote, two-way quote, we will be discussing more, practice more on that. But first we are going to see the direct quote and indirect quote. This is what we have studied in direct quote and indirect quote. Now this is the direct quote. What I said, the currency which is playing the role of price, this is yen is playing the role of price, that currency becomes that for that country is this quotation is direct quote, because nobody wants to buy its own currency. Foreign currency, for the foreign currency country, this same quotation becomes indirect quote. Okay. So let's do one question and let's see how we are able to solve it. Okay. Let's do a question. Okay. Now this is a question. Let us solve this question. A Mumbai banker has given the following quotes. A Mumbai banker has given you the following quotes. Identify whether they are direct or indirect. Obviously, this quotation has been given by Mumbai banker. We have to tell that is it a direct quote or indirect quote from the angle of, since the banker is belonging from Mumbai. So we are talking about India. So for India, it is a direct quote or indirect quote. For each direct quote, give the corresponding indirect quote and vice versa. Okay. This is a question. Just a second. Now, one thing you should always remember, how do you convert direct quote into indirect quote? Very simple. Again, one more rule is coming. How to convert direct quote into indirect quote? We are just going to talk about one-way quote. One-way quote is which quote? Which has only one rate, and that is the buying rate also and selling rate also. Okay. If I am saying say 50 rupees per dollar, this is a direct quote for India, because the currency which is playing the role of price for that nation, this is a direct quote. Okay. Now rupees 50 per dollar, this is a direct quote. I want to convert it in indirect quote. Indirect quote means that you make the price currency as commodity. So you want to convert it like this. So not a problem. Rupees 50 is equal to $1. So 1 rupee is equal to how much dollars? 0.02 dollars. So 0.02 dollars is equal to 1 rupee. Now this becomes commodity. Now your own currency is playing the price of playing the role of commodity. So this becomes an indirect quote for India. Indirect quote in India. And this is a direct quote for which nation? This is a direct quote for US, because now dollars is playing the role of the price. Okay. Now what I want you to understand is that how did you convert a direct quote into indirect quote? By making the price as commodity and commodity as price. How did you do? You have divided one by this direct quote. So if I want to reverse the quote, the simple rule is you have to divide the one divide by direct quote, or you have to just reverse it. Whatever the quote is given, if you want to reverse the quote, then you have to divide the quote by 1. Is it clear? But this rule is applicable only for one-way quote. When there are two-way quotes are given, you cannot use this rule. If only one rate is given, then you can only just divide 1 by that rate. The rates get converted, reverse. And this is logical. By unitary method, I have explained 50 rupees is equal to $1. So 1 rupee is equal to how many dollars? Clear? Okay. So the rule is, if you want to convert the direct into indirect, that is, you want to make the price currency to commodity and commodity currency to price, you just have to divide the quote 1 upon that quote. Okay. So now going back to the question has asked us, okay, give me a second please. The question asked us, question has asked, a Mumbai banker, sometimes I might be looking at left side and sometimes at right side because both the sides I have computers, so don't get confused. Okay, I have been started using some new ways of writing and dictating, so let's start. The Mumbai banker has given the following quotations. So Indian bank has given, identify whether they are direct or indirect. So my rule is, if for Indian company it will be direct and indirect when? For India, any quote will be direct quote when rupee plays the role of dash. Tell me, it will play the role of price, because you don't want to buy rupees in your own country, you want to buy the foreign currencies, right? So it will play the role of price, then only that quotation will be said it is a direct quote for India. So if rupees is playing the role of price, then it is a direct quote. If rupees plays the role of commodity in an exchange rate, then that is an indirect quote for India. Direct quote for India and indirect quote for India. Now going back to the question, let's take the examples. I hope you have questions with you also. Okay, so first rate is currency is given, and for each direct quote give the corresponding indirect quote also. Okay, so SE key currency rate is given to you, rupees per kroner, so that means rupees per kroner. Rupees is your price and kroners currency is your the kroner currency is your commodity. So this, whatever the rate is, this is a direct quote for India. So let us write this thing. Just a second. So in the first case, the rate given to us is given rupees per kroner. How much rate is given to us? The rate given to us is, let me check, 9.59. 9.59, right? So this is, first of all, if you want to write the answer is like this. Answer 1 to conceptual part. Conceptual questions. It is a direct quote. Why it is a direct quote? Obviously it is a direct quote. Rupees per kroner. Kroner's code is given to you as, kroner's code is given to you SEK. You can write like this also, right? So they have given you SEK. SEK 9.59. This is commodity and this is price. This is commodity and this is price. So price is the your Indian currency is playing the role of price. It is a direct quote. Now if you want to indirect quote, how do you convert it in indirect quote? Is equal to 1 upon direct quote. So what do? You do 1 upon 9.59. So 1 divided by 9.59, it is coming out to be 0.1043 round off. So it is an indirect quote. You have to express also. Now rupees will become commodity, rupees will become commodity, and commodity will become rupees. Let's do that. So how will you express? SEK per rupee 0.1043, or you can write like this also if you want to. It is the same and one and same thing. So first of all, we have to tell whether this exchange rate given to us is a direct quote for India or not. So it is a direct quote in India. Please write that also. And if this would be so good if you write this also. What have I written? This is very important, please. If you are a forex student, then you should say it properly. It is a direct quote in India for kroner, because kroner is commodity. So for, I told you, is the word used for commodity. Hence, it is a direct quote in India for kroner. And if you want to convert it into indirect quote in India, now indirect quote in India. So how do you convert? You convert in India, indirect quote in India for rupee. Why rupee? Because rupee has become, for is always stands for commodity. So now commodity has become rupees. In India, commodity is rupees now. See. So it is an indirect quote in India. So 1 upon direct quote, this becomes, have you understood? Let's do more questions. There are more examples for this. Let's do it. Okay. So another one is given to us. Now see this, just look at the quotation. Euro per rupee. So my dear students, tell me, euro per rupee. Per rupee, which currency is price and which currency is rupees? Let's talk about rupees, because we have to tell for India. Rupees is playing role of price or commodity? Per rupee, commodity. Oh, this quotation is indirect in India. So okay, let us write that. Let us write that in a fresh sheet. You want to write? I will scroll the sheets backside. Just let me first write the answer. Okay, so in the second case, the quotation given to us is euro per rupee 0.01177. I have seen. Now please see. Let's write this. So how do you write this properly? You will write like this: euro per rupee, per that represents slash sign. So after slash sign, this is the commodity, and before slash sign is your price. So if you express it, it's going to be like this: euro per rupee is 0.01177. It is an indirect quote in India, since rupee this line which I am writing plays the role is for your understanding. Since rupees plays the role of price. Now our target is to convert. This is the first answer. Don't write this in exam, because this is the explanation given to you. Just they have asked you whether it is a direct quote or indirect quote. Now we have to convert this quote. So we have to convert this. It was indirect quote, so we have to convert it into direct quote. How do? We take a reverse of the same. Indirect quote. So 1 upon 0.01177. We know why do we do this? 1 divide by 0.01177. So it's coming out to be 84.96. It's correct. Now how do we express this? We are going to express how? We are going to make the price currency commodity and commodity currency price. So now direct quote in India is what rupees becomes now the price and euro becomes now the commodity, and you have to write 84.96. Or to complete this line, now direct quote in India for, after for you have to write whatever the commodity is for euro, because now that this is the your commodity. So this was the second part. Now let's go to third part. Let's see whether we can solve it or not. Okay, so now the third part. Third part is for Singapore dollars. Singapore dollars SGD per rupee. Per rupee, 1 unit. Rupees are expressed in 1 unit. 1 unit means commodity. So rupees is commodity. Again, rupees is not playing the role of price. Hence, this is an indirect quote in India. So we have to write that it is an indirect quote and then we have to convert. So it's going to be very simple. Third part. Just a second. Yeah. Third part. Third part, they have given you the exchange rate as SGD in the question. SGD per rupee. Right? So SGD per rupee. See, can you see they have sometimes used the codes and sometimes they have used symbol. For one currency they are using code and for other currency they are using rupees. So there are no as such set pattern standards how the currency should be expressed in our exams. Okay. Now how much they have given in the question? It is they have given 0.02052. This is what they have given to you in the question. Now we have to convert this. First of all, we have to say it is an indirect quote. Always write in India, because every quotation is a direct quote for one nation and indirect quote for another nation, because there are two currencies. So if it is an indirect quote for in India, then it is a direct quote in Singapore, because Singapore currency is playing the role of price. I hope I am making sense and not making you irritable. Understand? Okay. Now we have to convert it into, it is an indirect quote, so convert it into direct quote. How do we do? How do we compute direct quote? Very simple. Direct quote is equal to 1 upon indirect quote, right? So 1 upon 0.02052. So how do divide this? 1 divided by 0.02052. So it is coming out to be 48.73. Do not leave the question here. Write it properly, this quotation. What is this quotation? So now the price currency will become your commodity currency and commodity currency will become your price currency. So I am going to do that. Now rupees per SGD is 48.73. This is also correct way of expressing it. All rupees 48.73 per SGD. We are talking about only one-way code. This was one-way code. Why one-way code? Because this code is given by bank to us and this is a one-way code. Bank is going to buy rupees in this quotation, so many Singapore dollars per rupee. So this is the buying as well as selling rate of rupees. In this quotation, this is the commodity. This is the buying and selling rate for SGD from the angle of bank. Bank is going to buy or sell at this rate, Singapore dollars. Is it clear? Let's do the fourth part speedily. Okay. Now the fourth part. Fourth part says rupees per UAE dirhams. Okay. So they are saying rupees per UAE dirhams. This is the rate given to us. Now rupees per UAE dirham. Can you tell me which currency is commodity? Dirhams is commodity, dirham, because it is expressed in 1 unit per dirham. Before per there is the currency rupees is the price. So rupees is playing the role of price. So in India this is a direct quote, because the home currency should play the role of price, then that quote is direct quote. So this is a direct quote. We have to convert it into indirect quote. Question has asked us for direct quote, give us corresponding indirect quote and vice versa. So let's do it. Okay, the fourth part please. Okay, fourth part. Fourth part mein they have given you rupees per dirham, UAE dirhams, and they have given you 16.7767. So first of all we are going to write it is an direct quote for direct quote in India for dirhams, right? For implies commodity. For which commodity it is a direct quote? It is a direct quote in India, but for which commodity? Dirhams. Okay. Now indirect quote you have to find out because direct quote is given to us. So indirect quote is going to be what? 1 upon direct quote. So 1 upon 16.7767, it is coming out to be 1 divided by 16.7767, it is coming out to be 0.0596, which is 0.060. You can round it off also. So this is indirect quote. Now how do we, don't leave it here, write it properly. Now the price will become the commodity and the commodity currency will become the price. Rupees currency will become the commodity and UAE dirhams will become the price currency. Okay. So we are going to write like this now, UAE dirhams in the same pattern as they have given to you. Or this is also right, or you can write like this also, dirham 0.060 per rupee. Is it clear? You can copy this answer, then we shall write some notes whatever we have studied. This is the fourth part. Pause the screen and write it down. Okay, this was your first part. Please pause the screen and write it down. I am enlarging the screen. Please write it down. This is the first page. Then I am shifting to the second page. I am clicking. This is the second part. Then the third part. Pause the screen and write it down. Then the fourth part. Pause the screen and write it down. Okay. So we have now studied the first conceptual problem. We have understood the direct quote as well as indirect quote. We have understood what is home currency, what is foreign currency, the currency in which our financial statements are reported, that is our own home currency, and any other currency is a foreign currency. We have understood in an exchange rate there is one commodity and one currency is playing the role of price. Then we have understood one-way quote and two-way quotes. We have also understood that one-way quote implies that the only one rate is given by bank, that is the rate for buying also and that is the rate for selling also. And for two-way quote, it implies bank is saying I will buy at some other rate and sell it at some other rate. And two-way quote is yet to be discussed more. So let us first write everything what we have studied. And a currency can be expressed in two ways, symbol or ISO code, which is preferable to use code, but in question symbols can be used in real life also because there is no standard rule as such. So let's write some notes. I'm enlarging the screen, then you can start writing with me. Okay, let us write. Give me a second, please. Okay, let's start. Exchange rate. First of all, we need to know what is exchange rate. Exchange rate is the rate at which one currency is exchanged, that is bought and sold for another currency. Rule 1: in any transaction involving foreign currency, you are selling one currency and buying another. Next concept, direct quote. A direct quote expresses the exchange rate in the terms of home currency per unit of the foreign currency. In other words, home currency plays the role of price, that is number of home currency units required to buy or sell. I'll write in next page this line. Home currency units required to buy or sell 1 unit of foreign currency. I'll explain you. For example, first write it down, then I'll explain what I have written. Rupees 61 per USD. is a direct quote for USD in India. Now write indirect quote. An indirect quote expresses the exchange rate in terms of foreign currency per unit of home currency. In other words, home currency plays the role of commodity. Example, $0.02 per rupee. It is an indirect quote in India. I'll explain you, don't worry. Okay. Now see, we have written first about exchange rate. We told what is exchange rate. We have said exchange rate as the rate at which one currency is purchased, exchanged, bought or sold for another currency. So one currency is bought and one currency is sold. That is your exchange rate. Then you have studied rule number 1, that in any transaction involving foreign currency, you are selling one currency and buying another currency. Now we are talking about direct quote. What is a direct quote? The home, whichever country you are taking, that country's currency is home currency for that country. Now that home currency, if it plays the role of price, then it is a direct quote for that country. So that means if I write like this, now this is direct quote for India. We have understood this. Now here the foreign currency is 1 unit, right? Sorry. This is direct quote in India. Now here dollar is your foreign currency, which is 1 unit. Same thing here it is written, indirect quote expresses the exchange rate in the terms of home currency per unit of foreign currency. So foreign currency is per unit, home currency per unit of foreign currency. In other words, home currency plays the role of price, that is number of home currency units. Number of home currency units per unit required to buy or sell 1 unit of the foreign currency. So this is a direct quote. Now number of home currencies required, number of home currencies rupees 61. This much home currencies are required to buy 1 unit of foreign currency. This is a direct quote. So in English it is so complicated when you write down the definitions. But you have to write it down, you have to learn also, because when this line will come, if a quotation in which number of home currencies required to buy 1 unit of foreign currency, is it a direct quote or indirect quote? You have to say direct quote, because these many home currencies, these many means that it is not 1 unit, many units. So it is a price. So for that country, it is a direct quote. I hope I am making sense to you. Now indirect quote, in indirect quote, you can see, in other words, now in this also, this you can see here also. Now the home currency is expressed as 1 unit, right? These many foreign currencies are required for to buy or sell 1 unit of home currency. So same thing is written here. In indirect quote, expresses the exchange rate in terms of foreign currencies per unit of home currency. Instead of teaching like this, I told you in a very simple manner that if your home currency plays the role of price, then it is a direct quote for you. If your home currency is not playing the price, it is playing the commodity, then it becomes an indirect quote. Okay. And we have done a question also. Now let's go further. Please write down the notes. Okay, now let us write one more theory of a concept, that is your conversion of direct quote into indirect quote and vice versa. Applicable, we are just talking about one-way quote. Okay, applicable for one-way quote. So what is the rule? Rule is very simple. Rule is an indirect quote is the reciprocal of the direct quote and vice versa. What does it implies? That if you want to find out indirect quote, then very simple, you just have to take a reciprocal of the direct quote. But this rule you have to apply only for one-way quote. You remember one-way quote? One-way quote implies that only one rate is given to you, which is buying rate also and selling rate also. For this it is applicable. Okay. So this is the rule, and this rule is for vice versa also. Vice versa implies that if you want to find out direct quote and indirect quote is given to you, then 1 upon indirect quote. And you know what is direct quote and indirect quote. Now first, this whole what we have studied, revise everything and take a break now. And in the coming lecture, next lecture, that is the second part of the lecture, we will be discussing more about two-way quotes, because we are just talking about one-way quote, and we will be doing American term and European term. This is also related to the exchange rate concept only. So exchange rates can be on American term basis or European term basis, and more discussion about ask rate, bid rate and spread, all these concepts. So take a break, come with a fresh mind, and then we'll do some more concepts, basic rules regarding the exchange rates. Okay, thank you.